I want to talk about red flags kind of as we land the plane here, because there could be people listening to us that might be in church situations that lean into this kind of maybe cult-ish or cult-like high control environment, and they just don't know how to spot that. And I'll start with one that I recognize, and again, a personal story, is kind of the unspoken rules. There can be like they would never tell you from the platform you're not supposed to ask about when people leave, but you just know that you're not. And one scenario that I'll mention was there was a very prominent worship leader at our old church that just disappeared. And then she started posting on Facebook about narcissist personalities. And, you're not supposed to ask about where she went, right? And it was like months. It was 2 or 3 months that she was just gone. She had been totally involved and then she was just gone. And I knew her. I'd been to lunch with her, but I didn't reach out to her. And finally, one day, when I started to kind of see what was going on, I remember thinking, I should text her. And the thought entered my head, what if they find out that I text her? And the second that happened, I was like, oh, I can't believe that I just thought that.
Right.
And that was a huge moment for me to realize that that was a major red flag, that that it would even cross my mind that they would find out that I texted her. So I immediately texted her because I was like, I am for sure going to text her now.
That's a good rebel that I mentioned earlier.
Yes. And so that was just maybe one red flag that I can think of, is that there are kind of these unspoken rules that you just are sort of conditioned to know because of the culture. But maybe comment on that and some other ones that you think of.
When I talk with people, I ask them what kind of messaging they received. And that's why I phrase it that way. Cause I'm like, it can be nonverbal messaging. Like we take in different kind of cues, right? Like we've got nonverbal cues that are huge actually in communication. And we've just seen, like, maybe, I don't know if you had this experience, if this rings a bell at all, but had someone else left before and there was a comment about not even directly, but like, did someone reach out and then suddenly they disappeared? I mean, there's just different things.
Yeah. Lots of people disappeared over the years. In fact, people that disappeared before we even got to the church, but now there were narratives about like, oh, that person is this or that person is that, and they're persecuting the pastor. And, there were lots of narratives that you would hear, and those were spoken, but yeah.
Mm. And when those are spoken to, we just kind of assume, oh, well, it's probably the same. And so I'm not going to want to reach out to a person who's a bad person to be in a relationship with. Like, then what am I getting involved with? I don't want to get involved with that. I don't want to get involved with gossip or slander or whatever it may be. And so then we stay away from it. For someone to recognize, I think your example is excellent, actually. Like, what is like anyone in the audience, like, what do you have come up for you? Like, what kind of things do you feel like you can't do? Is there a list of people you're like, I can't reach out to them? If I do and someone finds out X, Y, and Z is going to happen to me, or I think it's going to happen to me, like, I know it's at least going to be considered like poor form to be able to do that, because people should be able to leave. And that is actually one of the flags that I have that I like to share about is kind of what's an exit look like for somebody, because people move. People get called somewhere else for one reason or another. I know that language can be confusing, but there can just be times where it's time to go. I had a great experience at that first church, non-denominational mega church that I mentioned I went to, but there was a time to go, because I found as the couple of years went on, I'm like, okay, we're still only talking about grace, love, and mercy. And so I was like, I'm at risk of not having all of it. I need all of it. I want the whole picture. And so it was like, okay, it's time to leave. I also recognized, well, with their structure, which I'll bring that in a minute too, as a red flag, their church polity, as it's called, but like the structure of the church, people just aren't able to be known. And if I can't know any of leadership and none of leadership can know me, and I'm just showing up and leaving, and they had a young adults group that ended up getting up to 800 people. I mean, it was that big. Wow. And so, the young adults were leading their own small groups. And so no one really knew what they were leading others to do. And so it just was getting increasingly messy. And I'm like, okay, there's some structural issues here that they're not lending themselves to proper discipleship. And that's concerning for people being equipped well. So I'll lead that into this other flag, which is when we have more of a central figure set up where it's, okay, we've got this person on top who's making all the decisions. and that's it. I mean, that's of concern because we're not
Yeah.
having good accountability. We don't have our checks and balances. If we do have some checks and balances, we do have an elder board, we do have deacons, whatever exactly that looks like. We've got, maybe an external presbytery, if you're Presbyterian, different bodies that can come in. It's also just having an idea of who's on the elder board. Like, is it the yes men, as we can
Mhm.
call it? Like, is it the cousin and the brother and the
Yeah.
father-in-law? Is
Right.
it the buddies from high school? Like, and I get, like, if a church is just starting out, that may be what the person has available to them in the beginning
Yeah.
if they're trying to get started. So I'm not saying there isn't any room to be watchful, but I would be watchful and I would be cautious. And I would want to see the leadership seeking out good accountability.